Hey everyone, Lisa here, your wellness and well-being coach with another well-being wisdom tip for you. And this week I am once again going to be using a well-being card deck that I like to pull from Esther and Jerry Hicks. Some of you may know them as the Law of Attraction people, and they are used to tour around the country and teach people, about the Law of Attraction. And unfortunately, Jerry has passed, but Esther is still going, and she is still channeling all good things as far as well-being and attracting what you want into your life. So on that note, the card that actually completely jumped out of the deck for today's reading was, I can always reach for a thought that feels better. And we all know that that's sometimes difficult to do, but I have a few tips for you. And before I get started, remember that anything I say is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition you may or may not have. Please always seek your advice of a healthcare professional, and always make sure that you know that anything that you take from me is all my opinion in this particular video and every video that I do. But it doesn't mean it's not good advice, right? So you take from it what resonates with you and leave the rest, okay? So, with this card, I do always read the back, and then I kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm thinking. And of course, you're going to have your own opinions about it, and that's what this is for. So the back of the card does read that your decision to reach for a thought that feels good is a powerful decision, for it serves you in many ways. The better feeling thought reverberates within you, opening passageways to well-being that reach far beyond this one and one good feeling thought. So in other words, when you think a good thought, it's going to reverberate and create even more good thoughts and good things in your life. Kind of the law of attraction, right? Like attracts like. So I say with this card, maybe we can use it in many different ways. Some of the videos that I've done in the past, I always speak about, reaching for the next good thing that you can do, or the next positive thing you can do. If you're in the middle of a dire situation, of course, get yourself to safety first, but, not staying down in the pit, always trying to reach for the next thing that you can do. I personally rationalize things and try to think of the next logical step and the next logical thing I can do. And some people don't. Some people really live in their emotion, and that's fine for a moment or two, but you always want to make sure that you're reaching for a higher vibration. So when you're having a thought that, could be negative or maybe not as good as you would like it, stop yourself, catch yourself, take a deep breath, and say, okay, what about this situation can I turn into a positive? And sometimes, we're in a situation maybe with another person, and we all go through this. This is just human nature. Once we're in that situation and we're exchanging, verbal words or, feelings or whatever it is, sometimes things can arise. Like you'll be talking to somebody and you won't agree with everything they say, especially nowadays, right? So maybe we should hone in on this for just a minute. You won't agree with everything they're saying. Some of the things they're saying might anger you. It might frustrate you, stress you out, whatever it is, right? So I always say that, let the emotion come, because it's going to come whether you like it or not. But just know that you don't have to stay in that emotion. So, when you're actually feeling frustrated or angry about something that somebody said because they pushed your button, literally, you need to know that inside of you, that button's being pushed for a reason, and you can explore that a little bit more if you're into doing some self-healing work. Of course, contact me over at lisambpeppy.com or wellbeingawakening.com, and I'd love to help you through that with a personal wellness coaching session or a well-being card reading. But when you're in the moment, try to reach for, a thought that says, at least I can detach myself from this, or I can move away from this emotionally. You don't have to go from the thought of, that really pisses me off to that makes me happy, because that's a really far reach. But what you can do is say, okay, that's their opinion, that's their journey, and I understand that they're allowed to have that. I cannot control that. That is, how they feel about it. And guess what? How they feel about it is right for them. It's, what they feel inside because of their beliefs or their viewpoints or something. So you can't tell them that their viewpoint is 100% wrong or incorrect just because you don't agree with it and it's pissing you off and you are frustrated about it and you're thinking all these negative thoughts does not mean that it's not a good opinion or it's not an opinion or a viewpoint that is actually valid. So we have to watch ourselves and check ourselves on this nowadays because it's very difficult with everything that's been going on to get in a conversation. And I'm noticing this more and more. When you get into a conversation with somebody with an opposing viewpoint or somebody who does things different than you, there's a lot of friction and there's a lot of, feeling that, hey, you got to do it this way, or, I don't agree with the way you're doing it, or whatever it is. And that's fine to express that opinion. However, remember, we all have our own opinions. We all see things through our own glasses, our own eyes, totally differently. And like I said, if you're going to be in a relationship with or cohabitate with people or, just have a conversation with someone, you have to realize that you're not always going to be on the same page and that things about them are going to frustrate you and things about them are going to make you happy. And everybody's a mixed bag, right? So just know that you can reach for the better thought. You can reach for the higher vibrational thought, the more positive thought. You can say to yourself, well, that's their opinion. And yes, that kind of frustrates me. However, I can see it in another way. Maybe I can see it that that's their journey and that's how they feel. And maybe I can be a little more understanding about that, right? Whatever happened to compassion and understanding and meeting in the middle and, seeing things through different lenses. I don't know, that kind of went out the window, right? We're like not even paying attention to those things anymore, right? And they were very helpful in the past. So let's get back to seeing that, not everything someone does or that I do is right for another person. It's just not. I mean, it never will be. It never has been, and let's, the more we can let go of, I'm right, you're wrong, or you're right, I'm wrong, or whichever way it is, the more we can reach for that better feeling. So we have to first be willing to take the deep breath and let go for a split second, and in the conversation, let each person be heard and have their opinions and their emotions around whatever it is that you're working on, discussing, or, moving towards or doing, whatever it is. And make sure that you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm feeling the friction. Like I said, feel your emotions, know your emotions are there, and you don't have to deny them. But also, once you feel them, release them. Take a deep breath and let them go. And this all can be done in a split second. Because if you don't let that go, you're going to hold on to it and you're going to dig your heels in even more. And it's just going to make life difficult for you and everyone else involved. And especially you, if it was inside of you that you're feeling that way, they don't always know that. And they don't have to know that. You have to know that so you can work through it and release it. And then once you release it, then you can reach for that better thought by saying, I wonder if something about what they said could be right. Or I wonder if something about what they said I could use in my life to make my life better. Or maybe what could I be more understanding about? Or what could I do to make the situation better? Whatever it is for you. I always try to reach for the next thing I can do that's going to diffuse the situation as much as possible. And at times, there are certain situations where sometimes you just have to walk away and go into the other room, take your deep breath there, regroup, and then come back and say, okay, here's a better thought about that. Here's more positivity surrounding that. Or, some people like to say, can I agree to disagree? And that is good to get you to the next level, but it's not great to get you to where I think you really want to be, which is kind of either neutral or, just kind of lightly happy about it, right? That, I look at other people and I see their opinions and I don't agree with them. And I'm like, well, you do it your way, I'll do it my way. How's that? And that actually works for me. That release actually works because I feel that, if you come to me for advice, I can give that to you. And I would love to give you advice, correct? However, I can't change what you're doing or the way you do things, and we cannot change what others do. We can only change the way we see it or feel about it or the emotions that we're working through about it. And whatever emotion comes to you, you can just be aware of it. And I think self-awareness is a really big thing because we have to be aware of, the way we are taking part in the situation and the way that we are viewing the situation, and that, our viewpoint and the way we're doing it is maybe right for us, but it might not be right for other people. And there's no sense in, having negative thoughts about it and being, really dug in on the black and white and, line saying, I'm right, you're wrong, or whatever that may be, or we're doing it my way or the highway. Try not to be so rigid. Try to be a little bit more flexible and flowing. And believe me, I have to practice this all the time because, I do have a little bit of a type A personality, which I'm hoping is about an A minus I'm in my 50s now, and I've worked on it a long time, but still we all have our personalities and we all have the way we handle things. And, when we're talking to people and, like I said, working through things, we always have to reach through our own emotion first, because that's where we're at. We're inside of ourselves. We're feeling things through our own, feelings and emotions, and we're seeing things through our own eyes and our own lens. And it does not mean that it's the only way. It doesn't mean that it's the right way. It doesn't mean that it's, like I said, the only thing that can be done. I mean, also within yourself, you might want to work through, how many different ways can you approach the situation? How many different ways can you reach for a better thought about it? You can actually reach for a higher vibrational feeling by working through things in your mind, and also taking that deep breath and calming yourself down. Because what do they say? If you're going to feel angry or upset about something, sometimes you want to take a breath and wait a few seconds before you respond. It's always a good idea to think through it a little bit and bite your tongue just a little bit, not literally, but, hold back just a minute so you can, diffuse the instant, wow, that just triggered me, because remember, that's your trigger. That's not their trigger. They may have triggered you, but be aware of it. So I think awareness is also half the battle in trying to get our emotions, to a higher level. And like I said, think better thoughts about something. And, this card also says that the more positive you can think about something, the more positivity is either going to come into that situation, or the more positivity you're going to attract to yourself in that situation, or even other situations. You can feel yourself either tensing up or being relaxed and neutral, or being open and lively. And when you see it that way, when you feel something or you're noticing something, like I said, just go within and notice it within yourself and work through it, in a few minutes if you can. And if not, keep trying and always think, what is it about that situation I can learn from? What is about that situation that I understand is, not a part of me? It's theirs, or it belongs over there or over there. And I can detach from it and I can see it in a new light, or with a different point of view. Or maybe I can just be a little bit more understanding about it to know that, like I said, it's not always going to be the way we want it, and other people are going to do things the way they want. And we don't have to feel badly about it. We can always reach for another thought about it. And we can also reach for, like I said, another viewpoint. And it becomes easier the more you practice it. And like I said, I still practice it every day. I try, and it doesn't always take me just a few seconds or a few minutes to work through it. Sometimes it might take me a few hours, or, it might come to me the next day that, aha, that bothered me. However, I do understand that that's their point of view, and probably anything I say or do is not going to change it. However, they do know how I feel about things, and just knowing that we had a conversation about it is good enough. And I'm going to just leave it. And, like you said, some people like to say, agree to disagree, or just, kind of say, okay, that's fine. You do you, I'll do me, and we're all good. And I think we need to be a little bit more like that nowadays. There's been too many people pointing fingers at each other, feeling bad, making other people feel bad. And I don't know that it's the way that we should go in the future, because we want to attract more good things to us. We want to have better feelings and better thoughts. So keep up the work on that. Just like I said, reach for the next thought or the next emotion that's going to raise your vibration and make you feel better about what's going on. And like I said, you don't have to go from completely miserable to completely happy in 2.5 seconds, but you can try to just reach for something a little better than what you're feeling at the moment. And hopefully you'll attract all good things into your life now and in the future. And hopefully you can always work through those emotions and those negative feelings quickly, so that we can all be happier and, like I said, get along better and have more positivity in our relationships and all the things that we do. So if you'd like to visit me over at lisambpepe.com, please go on over there. And like I said, you can sign up for a few freebies on the front page, but also go to my coaching tabs at the top. There's one for personal coaching and there's one for group coaching. And join me over there. And I'd love to see you. I'd love to give you a personal well-being card. On that note, until the next well-being wisdom tip, I hope you will have a happy, positive rest of your day. Okay, bye-bye for now.